Okay everyone, this week's video is coming to you from that EICR I did a couple of weeks ago now, maybe 2 or 3 weeks ago, and it was the one regarding for I think it's number 19 on the YouTube playlist. It was the one regarding an old rewirable fuse box and some circuits and problems and issues with the cables we had. I won't talk too much about what happens because obviously I'll do that from site in a second. Just wanted to say at this point, if you could go and subscribe to the channel if you haven't already done so, I'd really appreciate that, and as always, like and comment. Right, hello everyone. Okay, this job I'm just going to refer to it as number 11. That's basically just the door number that it is. So we saw the EICR I did, the ballpark, rough, dodgy kind of half EICR I did, basically just testing the circuits. And now I'm going to put all those faulty circuits right. We're going to put some upstairs sockets in, downstairs kitchen sockets. So 3 new circuits, well, smoke alarms as well, so 4 new circuits. I'm going to, you see over here, I'm going to move the cooker isolator, get rid of that old immersion heater switch, move the cooker isolator over, change the cooker isolator to something a bit more modern. Upgrading the earth bonding to the gas and the water. There's none on the gas, and the water is in something what looks like the old 3mm or something, 4mm, something thin, single stranded stuff. There's a few additional sockets going in. The client is quite happy with where the sockets are at the moment, so obviously it's just the cables going to them. So I'll replace the cables, check out the back boxes. If the back boxes are okay, they'll stay. If not, I'll change them. Change the fronts on them. I think they are just staying white. Every pendant will change, every switch will change. Obviously this big 8-foot monstrosity above my head here, I don't know if you can see that. Get rid of that as well, and yeah, just basically update and upgrade the whole house. In a small little house. So yeah, it shouldn't take too long. The only tricky part is the kitchen. The kitchen's it's going to stay here. So they had a socket up top here, which is they were using for the washing machine. That's now going to go into the cupboard down here. We'll put a single socket in there for the washing machine. Now the tiles are staying at the moment-ish, but we'll soon see about that. He said he wants them to stay. I'll keep the kitchen, but if I have to do a bit of demo, so be it. And we'll just have to be a bit delicate. I'll do a bit of patch plastering myself, just patch the chases in, and then a professional plasterer will come round after me and make the place look a lot better. Okay, nothing more to say, nothing more to add. I'll grab the camera and we'll walk around and I'll show you a couple of little bits that I've already done. A couple of little bits I've done off camera just to speed things up a bit and help any other trades that are going to be here. Now obviously I'm disconnecting all the sockets in the house, every single one of them, so there's not going to be any power. What I've done here, you can see, I put a temporary in here. It's not unfortunately on an RCD just yet, but it will be in a couple of days. And this is just basically for like chargers and stuff for the drills and stuff like that. Maybe a kettle, not sure. Anyone who needs a bit of power, it's just there. I've left the lights on as well for now. They've been on there for however long, so obviously when I'm working on them I'll turn them off. But until I fit the new board, this is pretty much the temporary setup for the next day or 2, or probably 3 days. And then obviously once all the sockets are in and the light fittings are changed and stuff, we'll put the new board on and everything will be hunky-dory.
Got the board up now to access the floor area so I can run some new cables. One thing they're not going to teach you in college is, well, they might teach you, a good teacher will tell you this, and it's certainly sending you on your way into the big wide world, especially in a domestic capacity. Lifting floorboards is definitely going to be something that you're going to come across and you're going to have to master pretty soon on as well, because if you start getting into people's houses, smashing floorboards up and basically leaving their floor a lot worse than before you got there, then you won't be getting a phone call back and you might be getting a bill. Anyway, the floors up there, as you saw how I did it, get your PPE on, because trust me, dust, stuff going in your eye, and definitely ear protection. Now, board up here, I'm going to get some more boards up in this room, and I just thought just to say to anyone kind of coming into the industry, de-nail the floorboards. I'm not going to tell all the old sparks out there and the people that are doing this day in, day out. They already know, I hope. De-nail the floorboards as you take them out. Don't just pull them up and throw them against a wall, lean them against the radiator, or even throw them in the garden or something. Someone will stand on them, and that someone might be you, or worse, it might be someone who is giving you the money to do the job. So de-nail them, and yeah, it's common sense at the end of the day. It saves a lot of time, a lot of messing around. Once the cables are back in and the floor's all ready, you can just flop the board back down. And again, me being me, I'm not going to use the nails to put them back down. I'm going to use screws. So yeah, get them de-nailed, get them flat down like that, and then you can work knowing that there's not going to be any rogue nails stuck up waiting to bite you. Alright, my lovelies, I've just found something in the floor here. Some 1mm cable. Now, it's not just I found it, it was feeding this socket, you can see. Poking up its ugly head there. And it goes under the floor, and it goes basically to that socket over there. And it was fed from that socket to here. And if you remember this socket at all, it was fed in trunking, or supplying in trunking, a feed to the TV up there. So yeah, we're getting rid of this and renew it all with some nice 2.5. It's pretty simple when it comes back to putting the boards back down. So it's basically, I mean, you can take it off hand. You can go in the same nail holes where the nail you've just pulled the nails out of, or you can just pilot new ones into the timber. And that's just basically, you're going to put some new ones in there. It's going to be a better fix basically. Nice tight hole to get the screw into. Board down solid. We'll repeat that throughout the rest of the floors downstairs, wherever we've had a board up. Yeah, the customers had a couple of boards up as well. So wherever there's been a board up, we'll screw them back down. Right, if I just pan back a little bit now, you can see this is the kitchen. The board is just that way through the stairs. You can see I've got a couple of boards up already. Customer's been pulled the lino back. I'm not sure if this is going to survive or not, but for what it is, I've just pulled it back even further and exposed the boards. Right, that socket there, surface nonsense. You can see, can you see what it was doing? It was like tied into this, spurred off, and it was all nonsense. That's all going. That's all going. Yep, fair enough. We're going to come up there, sink the cables in the wall, put a metal back box in the in where that surface one is, and that's going to be one socket. Cooker point, that's going. Old immersion heater, that's going. And there'll be a cooker outlet there for the cooker. I'll put the cooker switch roughly where that the old immersion heater switch is, and chase down on both of them. Coming over to this side of the kitchen, just going to be one double socket here, which is going to be for the well, for anything that's going to want to go there. Keep it over here, away from the sink, and a single socket in the base unit there, just for the supply some power to the washing machine. So yeah, a bit of an update. Some people call these nice, some people call these nice. Apparently they're nice. But yeah, you go. I'll let that controversy roll through the comments, or not roll at all, but yeah. They are nice, regardless, whatever the hell they're called. You can see I've chased out over here for the cooker switch. That's going to be the switch, the isolator for the cooker point. Now there's the cooker point. Yeah, I've not quite done that one yet, but I am going to start routing the cables. Now these are both radials. Yes, both of them. Going to put the kitchen on radial. There's only 3 sockets. And I'm going to be pulling, obviously you can see going into the garden there, there's a 6mm cable going through, and coiled up here somewhere is the 2.5. Now over here, under all this mess, I've got some fishies. I've got about 6 meters connected up there to this point here, where they're all hopefully nicely, tightly taped up, and I'm going to jump over there and pull my wire. You ready? Here we go. And here we go. All fished through. And kitchen sockets and the cookers all first fixed now. Over there we've got a socket coming up, back down, goes under the floor, up here, back down, under the floor to the here in the cupboard. You can see I've come up here in some capping. I managed to fish it through here and get it into the back box. Looks a bit chunky and clumsy, but that's the nature of the beast, I'm afraid. Some capping over there as well. Now it's the same with the cooker coming up to the isolation point over there, drops back down again and comes to the outlet where the actual cooker is going to go. So the plaster's got a little bit of work, some to do underneath here, that entire big chase there. The reason my chase is a little bit wider is because the previous cable that was going up to the immersion heater isolator was, it was ran kind of on the skew, on the piss, so to speak. So I just kind of brought it a bit more in plumb. And so yeah, so all that's got to get plastered, and along with any other chases that I make. How's the kitchen dealt with? Okay, so I'm upstairs now, chasing out. I've got some boards up, I'm chasing out the sockets wherever they're going to be going. Over there you can see I've had to take the skirting off because it was the floorboard was just so tight to the wall. The skirting had to come off with the multi-tool. Got the feeds up here for the sockets either side of the bed, and then they go through there. Obviously that surface thing will be going. They go through there under the wall into here, and I'll pick up 3 in there, including the boiler. Coming on the way back, getting that one. I'll give you another update when I can, in the back bedroom or something. But yeah, upstairs now, and look, I'm even on the water. No more coffee. Right, I really do need to get a large version of this. This is medium. A little bit dusty because I'm sweeping up after myself. Yeah, that happens. Sockets are all in now, first fix. Cables are through, boxes are in. I've tried to keep the demolition down to an absolute minimal. Not had to touch any skirting or anything there. I've screwed the boards back down over there, and obviously over there the skirting came up. Been through to the back bedroom, still cleaning up here. But again, it's we've got a double socket there, one over there and one next to the radiator there. The boiler is going to be boxed in, all that kind of effort. So yeah, it's gone back in trunking where it's going to be hidden. Not my choice, but hey, not my house. Right, so next thing to do, we've also got one coming back this way, and that's the last socket here on the landing. That's the, I was able to leave the back box in there. There's nothing wrong with it, it's perfectly fine, solid. It's only a single socket going back in there, so yeah, no point in smashing that out just to put another single back in. And that one's fine. I think I'll just, the only thing I'll have to do there is tuck these down, the little screw lugs. But that's the case with all the new back boxes. Right, smoke alarms. Smoke alarms are in now, all second fixed and ready. And one at the bottom of the stairs, and one just up there, the top of the stairs, replacing that old battery unit thing from the 1980s. It looked like. So I've bonded out all the chases now. You can see here, this one for the socket cable going upstairs and the smoke alarm, that's all bonded out. Same in here, they're all just patched pretty much where the sockets are going to go. The whole decoration side of things is going to get done by, I believe, the client or the tenant moving back in. I'm not quite sure, but certainly that's ready for the plasterer now. Now, there's one thing I wanted to just show you, and that is, obviously I've got a bit of bonding here as well, and that's I mean, I was lucky enough I was able to get the cables up the original cap in there, so it saved a bit of demolition on the patching the plaster side of things. But yeah, I mean, the tools I use for second fixing, so I'm quite deep into second fixing here now. Lots of most of the sockets are on, and yeah, here's the tools I'm going to be using. So knife, and that's basically just to clean out the box, any plaster residue, any bonding, anything that's going to be in the box. Make a nice square edge around the side there so that there's no problems when you're putting the wires in and pushing the socket back on. So the other tool is obviously the side cutters, which you've seen before. It's in this case also good for stripping back some of the insulation in this, and with being on the sockets, it's obviously going to be the 2.5 setting, which, although worn off now, I know is, you can see the bottom hole is a bit bigger than the top hole. A couple of screwdrivers, various different sizes and stuff, but that's just basically tightening up screws, terminals inside the socket, and then the two screws that are going to hold the socket back in place. Some sleeving, and then the long nose pliers just to kind of fold the ends over on the CPCs. Always carry a little bucket or tray or something around with me just to kind of throw all the bits and pieces in it. It helps at the end as well when you're going around cleaning up before any kind of board carpets or anything going back down. It helps that you've gathered up, I'd say, a good 95% of the crap you're going to be accumulating. Get it all in a bucket, and then you can just throw it in the skip or however you're going to do. Now, with this particular one, you can see, like I said, I did a bit of bonding around the sides of it, so I'm not going to screw the socket all the way back. Customers asked if I could just leave it off a little bit for decoration reasons. They can come along and whether the plaster is going to deal with it, or filling or painting or anything like that. So I'm not going to screw it all the way back. Yeah, that's how I go about second fixing sockets. So you see the cooker isolator I've got here now. It's I've obviously bonded that side of it, done a bit of bonding around here, and I'm going to leave it off. And the plasterer, I know the plasterer Johnny is going to be good enough. He'll unscrew that a little bit and be able to get a good skim on that wall and get it back to looking as good as it was, if not better. Same with this now. That's screwed back, and that'll get filled in even more. I'm going to leave this off because obviously I've got a bit of testing to do before I put the front on that, with this being the end of line for the cooker circuit. Pretty much the same over here on the worktop socket. Now, I obviously wasn't going to be able to start cutting it into the tile or anything and feeding it there. To be honest, speaking to the client, we're not sure, or they're not sure, what's happening with the kitchen. Next year, it might be getting ripped out, moved, and there might even be some more wiring adjustments. But for now, to get the power back on, to get a socket over here, obviously I've got to keep it further enough away from the sink. I've just cut a double socket up here, second fixed it, bonded around the outside of the back box. Again, that can be unscrewed and a little plastering to be done. And I've just filled in the old single socket there, what we had. Upstairs now, just bonded around that side, second fix the socket back, and again, that can be skimmed, filled or whatever afterwards. And then we've still got, I've got a bit of skirting to put in over there in the corner, but you can see socket there, socket there, socket there, all second fixed now. Bit of bonding around them, and I've left them off the wall so that the plasterer can get in, do a bit of filling or skimming or whatever he's going to be doing. And yeah, bonded over the old socket over there. Remember this one? We had it? I think it was put it in the previous video. Well, this is obviously, I'm going to change this around and just going to terminate these connections a bit better than they are doing at the moment. Replace that for a newer 3-gang. Okay guys, right, that's everything second fixed. All the sockets, the smoke alarms, the cooker point. I've left the face off the cooker outlet, obviously for a bit of testing reasons. Now, with everything in second fix now, I'm going to go ahead and fit the consumer unit. And in this case, I'm changing one fuse box, literally, for another fuse box. major difference in them, obviously. So this one is going to be, we've got ICBOs going in there, and these, obviously, the age difference, this is a rewirable one, this one from, I think it was 70s, 80s, that kind of time, older than me, probably, and this one is, well, they brand themselves as 18th edition ready, so yeah, we'll put that one in. Now, the video, I'm just going to do a bit of a rip all this out, and we'll speed it up or something. I'm not going to video myself doing the entire install and stuff like that. I'm sure you've seen enough of those. Here we have all the cables ready to be terminated. I'm going to shove them up the back of this board, cut out for it, and hopefully poke through into that one. Right, now the guys over at Fusebox sent me this the other week. We were doing sticker swap, and stickers came in this bag along with a few other bits and pieces. Obviously, the obligatory catalogue, which we'll just leave there for you all to see. We've got some glands there. Yeah. Got a nice hashtag going on. Non-contactless, voltage detector. I've really seen or heard of that one before yet. One of those thrown in there. We've also got tails clamp for inside the board. We've got some metal blank plates there, front of the board. Oh, we also have a bit of an earth terminal block as well in there. And a tails, well, and a bag as well, I guess. We also have a tails gland. Now, the guys over at CF in Rottenstall, it was, yeah, Rottenstall, I picked this up from. They gave me, I picked a tails gland up from them while I was there. Just habit of doing stuff like that. Pick a tails gland up because you always forget, and a set of tails. Now, obviously, one came in this goodie bag, so I'll put this to use and see how this goes. And the one I picked up from CF, I'll throw that on the next job. So, yeah, let's get on with it. Okay, so obviously now everything's been stripped off and removed, and I'm going to start prepping this board and prepping the backboard here, get this installed, get it fitted, get the RCBOs in the board, circuits up the back, get them through, terminate into the RCBOs, get everything on and powered up, and we'll get ready for a little bit of testing. So I've just got the front off and took some of the paraphernalia that comes in inside. So you obviously got a bus bar, earth connection to the front, labels. I've seen these before, labels. Let's see if we've got the right label going on. What does it say? Is it 6 monthly? Test monthly. Test monthly. Never mind. What's this one now? Yeah, just tell me what sizes are, dimensions, torque settings and stuff. And then you've got a notice here. There's a couple of things I was going to say. Just there's a bit of information about the surge protection device that's obviously that comes with the board, which is one of the main bonuses and benefits of buying one of these in the first place. When conducting insulation resistance testing with the SPD feed, it is recommended either the earth connection or the plug-in cartridges are removed. If you do not wish to remove the cartridges or earth connection, then testing must be at a a maximum of 250 volts. Pretty understandable, I guess. And then there's another label on here, with many other labels, but there's one label on here that I've been banging on about for absolutely years now. Loose connections cause fires. Well, it's good to see a label on a board now that's actually saying that, because well, that's absolutely true. Loose connections do cause fires, and we've all seen fires from loose connections. Right, enough talking. Time to get the board on and yeah, get it kind of marked out where I'm going to put on my cables and where I'm going to cut some holes. Okay, so that's this board on. Got a couple of labels on. I'm going to finish the rest off now. Well, I'll finish the rest off when I'm finished the testing. Done the dead testing. I'm going to carry out a bit of live testing now. Get some ZS results done. Yeah, what do I think of it? Yeah, it's quite well put together board. Obviously, there's been a few on there now. I noticed the door. I've got a bit of that going on the door, on the front rather. Not the door. The door's fine. On the front, it's just a bit of a rock, but I've screwed it to a flat surface, so it should be quite a. Maybe I'll whip the front off and see if there's a screw loose or something. But yeah, I like it. Not a problem with it whatsoever. I think I'll definitely be fitting some more of these. And you can see I put the tails gland at the bottom there, so the tails are sweeping up and down and in. Obviously, we upgraded the earth to well, the earthing conductor. I think it was 10 mil or something. I can't remember what it's over there somewhere in the bin. But yeah, right. Carry out some more testing, and we'll get out of here. Okay, board's on, so we're going to go and do a ZS at the cooker outlet. That's why I left the front off. So isolator turned on, probes out, and loop ATT on, because obviously they are RCBOs. So one-handed, is it? One-handed we're going to do this. And then just wait for a reading. It always takes a little bit longer with it when you put the ATT on. That's not too long, is it? So that's yeah, 0.32. Now before I put the cover on, just one thing I wanted to say. You might have heard me talking about this with Sam and Ricky the other day on the Electrician's Guide to Everything podcast, and it was right at the end, and I was just mentioning something I see on EICRs, and that is a lot of the time, if it's a tenanted property, more often than not, believe it or not, if it's a tenanted property, I've come to it to do an EICR, or even if I'm not doing an EICR there, what I see a lot of is this kind of arrangement. So this, the blank, or the plate rather, has been pulled off, smashed off. Sometimes it's one of those deals where the terminations are in the plate and it's still attached to a cooker, which is obviously left with the tenant, and you're left with this. And if there's no one coming, if there's no one turning up in between to do any electrical check or testing or inspecting at all, who's to say someone's going to come wandering along, and if that isolator up there is turned on and there's no neon to say whether it's on or off or anything, if someone touches this terminal here, I mean, it's just horrendously dangerous. So yeah, safety first, and yeah, maybe we should be talking about safety a little bit more when it comes to tenants and change of occupancy, or every change of occupancy. Alright everyone, so you can see what I did there. Now, new board went on, the Fusebox one, the CP Fusebox. That's my first official Fusebox that I've actually fit and filmed and stuff, so that one went on quite, say, a little bit exciting, I suppose. We had a new cooker circuit going in, obviously a new kitchen socket circuit, upstairs socket circuit, downstairs socket circuit. Earth bonding to the gas and the water, so almost an entire rewire, and yeah, nothing too much to explain. You saw what I did in the video, but yeah, if you've made it this far, I'd appreciate it if you would. Again, I know you're sick of me asking, if you could go and like the video, subscribe, and leave some comments, and I'll see you next time, guys. Thanks for watching.